Hello, my name's Blossoms and welcome to another Genshin Impact video, and today we're going over a brief Inazuma travel guide, getting you guys prepared with some hot tips for Inazuma, some things you want to prepare for, some do's and don'ts, as well as maybe some team comps for the open world, because it's been some time since we've had a very large open world area to explore. So we're going to get into all of that. I've got plenty of things to talk about, and I'm going to try to make it quick. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I did talk about team comps, and that's what we're going to start with. And this is my open world team comp. And I'm just going to kind of go over it, give you guys some things you're going to want to look out for when you're building your open world team comp, and some things you can look out for that are just kind of going to be helpful for traversing through the open world. Namely, one of the best open world characters, believe it or not, in my opinion, is the one that just came out, Kadehara Kazuha. That is because not only does he have a passive talent that reduces your stamina sprinting consumption by 20%, but he also has an E skill that can be used in mid-air, kind of as a double jump for some extra verticality and utility with getting around. Not only that, he's also an Anemo character, and for those of you who don't know, elemental resonance for Anemo gives you a reduction in stamina consumption and increases your move speed by 10%, so you are moving just a little bit faster and just a little bit longer, and combined with his passive is really nice to stack on with. And you might be wondering who I'm pairing him with. Well, I'm pairing him with what I think is the second best open world character, Xiao, who also has an E skill that can be used in mid-air to get across some gaps for some horizontal utility, but then he also has a 20% stamina consumption reduction for climbing things, so that's very nice. These are two of the best open world characters, and I accidentally clicked out, but don't worry about it, we're going right back in. And these two are extremely strong together. However, you don't necessarily need to use them, and I'll go over that in just a second, but those are some of the things you're going to want to look out for, is skills you could use to traverse the open world that are useful, as well as some passives that are useful. I also have Beto on the team, not only because she's Electro, and I think she'll be useful for some of those puzzles, but also because of the fact that she has the passive Conqueror of Tides that is going to decrease so many stamina consumption for the party by 20%, which is very nice. Now, do remember, none of these passive stacks, so if you have like Razor and Kazuha on the same team, you're not getting 40% stamina consumption reduction. You will only get that benefit once, so that's why I have a variety of these that are helping me throughout the whole world, where whether I'm climbing, swimming, or running, I'm getting 20% reduction in stamina, along with that Anemo Resonance, which is nice. And then we also have Diona, mostly because she's a bow character. Now, do keep in mind, you want at least a Claymore user and a bow character, unless you have Zhongli, because you want a Claymore user to farm some ore. Inazuma's coming up. I'm sure there's going to be some new ore for the new craftable weapons we're getting, and we'll talk about a little bit more about that, but you are going to want a Claymore user to farm that ore, or you're going to want Zhongli, who can just, you know, eradicate it all at once, which is pretty nice, but not everybody has Zhongli, so having a Claymore user is very important, and there are some enemies that you just would rather have a Claymore against, so having one on your team is very good. But then also having a bow user, like I was just on before I got off onto the Claymore topic, having a bow user is equally important, because not only are there bow puzzles such as those balloon plants or whatever, but there are also enemies that kind of require you to have a bow. Something like the Ruin Hunter is a great example, where he flies high in the air, and sure, you can get up there with Zhao and knock out his eye. For those of you who don't know, you can do that, but it's much easier to have a bow character go ahead and shoot out that eye. And Diona is a good choice, because not only is she a bow character who can shoot out that eye, she's also a character that can heal the whole party, provide a shield, and not only that, she also has a passive that increases movement speed and decreases stamina consumption whenever characters are in her shield, so that can be pretty useful for traversing the open world as well. And that's just kind of the team that I'm bringing along in Inazuma to travel around. I'm sure this will change up as I encounter a bunch of other puzzles, but this is what I'm going to be going in with. Another brief example of characters you could use that are really good for open world, but don't necessarily have those passives, are a combo like Keqing and Albedo. This is actually a really good open world combo, because Keqing has her teleport that she can use basically anywhere, and Albedo has his elevator. When you combine them, you can get to some really high places, and they can be very useful. So that's another thing to consider. Keqing's also Electro, so she'll probably be good for some puzzles, I'm sure. But and there are plenty of combos to go over. There are plenty of great characters to do some team comps with. But those are just kind of the basics I wanted to go over, and hopefully that gives you guys a good idea how you might want to build your team for Inazuma to traverse the most effectively. All right, we got over what I think was probably the longest portion of this, but now we're going to talk about a couple of other things, namely Spiral Abyss. Spiral Abyss just reset, and I'm sure some of you have already blown through it, and I'm sorry I didn't get this video out soon enough for you guys, but for those of you who haven't yet, you might want to hold off on blowing through it because of the fact that it's going to be around for another 2 weeks, so you have some time, but it's also going to help you on the Battle Pass whenever that gets revamped, whenever we get a brand new Battle Pass. There is a battle pass thing for gaining 12 stars in the Spiral Abyss, so you might as well wait, get that 2k on the Spiral Abyss. It's going to jump you forward on the battle pass a lot sooner, which is actually very important because we're going to need these fragile resins. Because these fragile resins are going to be significantly important in Inazuma because we are getting a new artifact domain, and those artifacts are widely usable on a lot of characters. So farming out that domain is going to be important for a lot of people. We're also getting new materials, new world bosses. So resin is going to be very, very important going into 2.0 here. So getting these fragile resins faster is going to be really helpful. So making sure you hold off on your Spiral Abyss there, as well as maybe holding off on your Trounce domains, might help you out just a little bit. So when Monday rolls around, you might want to hold off on your Trounce domains until the actual new battle pass comes out. So just do keep that one in mind. You can, of course, complete them after. I don't believe you have to loot to technically complete the Trounce domain. I believe you just have to actually complete it, but you know, you might as well just hold off and get it all done in one go. Same goes for a bunch of these other passes, but I feel like those are two of the more important ones that you're going to want to look out for. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is weapon prototypes. And yes, of course, these are not very easy to get, but if you have some and you're thinking about just crafting a new Iron Sting, hold up a second, you might want to wait. We are getting a brand new slew of craftable weapons, and you don't want to waste these until you know for a fact that you don't want to, craft those weapons, or we still might even get some free, prototypes here, but it is going to be important to just hold off and double check that you're going to have these to be able to craft them whenever you want them. I've got some saved up here, and I'm very excited for that, but that also goes along with the fact that you're going to want to save up some crystal chunks. Don't blow them all on weapon mats. Hold up just a second. Have a few, because it's most likely that they're going to take 50 crystal chunks and then 50 of like a new Inazuma, or similar to how Dragon Spine required like 50 star silver and 50 crystal chunks. So it's likely that you're still going to need crystal chunks to craft those, so you're probably going to want to hold on to these and maybe farm them out. That's also something that you could do to prepare for the new patch. Likewise, with that statement, I imagine you are also going to want to save on some weapon materials to level up the brand new craftable weapons. That also might be important, so hold off on leveling up your weapons for just a minute, because you might find out one of the craftables is extremely cool and worthwhile on one of your characters, so I would just hold off until the update actually releases before you go ahead and do that. One other thing you're going to want to consider is the fact that they announced we are getting a free beta. I don't necessarily know when we're getting that free beta. It could be midway through the patch or something. If they actually announce that date, let me know in the comment section below. I would like to know that. But you could be pre-farming for Beto right now to go ahead and get some mats to level her up, because she is a fantastic character, and if you don't have her yet and you're getting your free one, then that's going to be amazing. But also, if you haven't leveled up your Beto and you're getting a constellation, her constellations are pretty good, and if you haven't leveled up your Beto, I don't know what you're doing. She's a really good character and really fun to use. I plan to get mine all the way up here and get her talents maxed out in the Ascension 5 realm here, because she's a very worthwhile character. Another thing you're really going to want to consider here is the fact that they briefly mentioned a 5-star artifact conversion system. We don't necessarily know how exactly that's going to work. There are some leaks talking about exactly how it's going to work, but nothing concrete yet. But essentially the way it was said to be working is that we could use some artifacts, 5-star artifacts that we don't want. We can dump a bunch of them into this converter and produce an artifact set of our choosing. Now, I'm sure that artifact set range is going to be limited of what artifact sets we can get. It's probably only going to be like 3 or 4. And according to some leaks, it's going to be some artifact sets that we can already get right now and none of the new ones. But regardless, that's going to be really nice. Having some of your trash artifacts or something be able to be, converted into other artifacts might be really nice. You could use these for some XP, but converting them into a set of your choosing could be pretty darn nice, because I know I get plenty of 5-star artifacts that are just not very good. As you can see here, I have a very long list of artifacts that are not very good. So being able to convert these into the thing might be very worth it. I'm, of course, going to be dumping a bunch of them to go ahead and test it out for you guys and let you know if it is actually worth it or not. So stay tuned around for that one. I'm probably going to do it on stream or something. And we do a stream every Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing some additional ones for Inazuma, don't you worry. But Just remember, you know, these artifacts, save them for at least until after the update, see if it's worth it to actually convert them or not, and then go ahead and make your decision of whether you're just going to fodder these into other artifacts or if you want to save them for the converter. One more quick thing you're actually going to want to consider is saving some resin. This is a pretty simple one, but as I said, we're getting new bosses, new domains, we're getting new books for the characters, new talent books and stuff, so we're going to be farming a lot. We're going to be you know, scraping by for some resin, so it's going to be important to save some condensed resin. Now of course you don't need to do this right now, you don't necessarily have to have 5 condensed resin on stack, but the day before the update I would recommend not even using any of your resin and just condensing it and holding off on it and trying to keep as much as you can from when the update drops, because we are probably going to be farming a bunch of new stuff in Inazuma, so having some condensed resin ready to go is going to be a nice one there. Not necessarily a completely needed tip, and you can do it the day before, but something I wanted to mention regardless. Now do remember the main character is also getting an electro element, so if you don't have them leveled up, you probably want to, because according to some leaks and some of the gameplay that even Mihoyo has shown themselves, he seems like he's gonna be pretty good, or she, it doesn't matter, but the Electro main character seems like they're going to have some really neat utility and be useful on a bunch of teams, and I have a feeling they're going to be slipping their way into a couple of our teams here, and I'm very excited to test that out. And of course the materials for actually ascending the character are pretty free for the most part, but do keep in mind, you know, of course you're going to need the books and stuff to actually level them up. So if you don't have your main character leveled up to at least Ascension 4, I would at least do that, because I have a feeling the Electro main character is going to be far more useful than a lot of people are expecting. One more brief thing I do want to mention, of course, is just save up some teapot silver. The teapot is, of course, likely going to get some new furniture, and I'm sure a lot of it is going to be Inazuma themed and be very, very cool stuff. So I think it's definitely going to be worth it to save up some silver in your teapot to just make sure you have it on hand for whenever the update drops and you can buy those new things. Especially since they announced the farming system, that might cost silver or something, so you are going to want to think about that. So just have some silver on hand for the teapot so you're ready for those new systems to go ahead and be in place. All right, I do believe that is everything. I tried to cover everything as quickly as I can. I know there was a lot of points and maybe I missed a few things. If you guys have any tips for Inazuma prep, please put them in the comment section below. I'm going to pin a comment, leave your comment under that one, and go ahead and let me know some of your Inazuma prep that I might have missed in this video, because I want this video to go ahead and help out as many people as it can to go ahead and get prepared for Inazuma, because we are getting a new continent. It's going to be really fun, I'm sure, and being as prepared as we possibly can be is just going to be a nice thing for everybody. But other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. My name is Blossoms, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace.